Adversity? Bring it. The struggle? We welcome it. Snooze on life? Never that. We are Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli, and this is the No Snooze Podcast. Come on. Welcome back, No Snooze Podcast, episode 93. I am here with the full crew today. The entire four: Michael, the show Pirelli, Claudio, the voice Valenzuela, Justin, the most famous intern Sanchez, and I am Dave, the body Regina. If you are just landing here for the very first time, we want to welcome you guys to the family. And if you guys are back for another week, we want to thank you. We're extremely grateful for your loyalty. The No Snooze Podcast was built off of a mindset, right? The first thing you see in the morning is that snooze button. We believe you can either snooze and go back to sleep on your dreams and aspirations, or wake up and attack your day. We apply that mindset to everything we do, both personally and professionally. Business, relationships, fitness, finance, and anything else in between. Michael, without further ado, how the hell are you, my brother?
Well said. That was very impressive.
Was that all right?
Off the rip. One take Timmy over here. You know what I was thinking when you were talking? You always do the intro, right? I wonder if someone's just listening on the audio, what they think we look like. You know, if you've never watched us on YouTube or this is your first episode, I'd love to see one of those doodles when it's like, oh, you saw someone who stole something, draw it out. I would love to see how they would draw us.
We said it the other day, but Castro, right? He's got the most incredible radio voice.
Oh, amazing.
Right? But he kind of looks the part, too.
I don't think, no.
He doesn't look like the voice?
He doesn't.
No.
Because that voice is like Morgan Freeman, like you're...
Right. I don't get why
you're an older soul type of thing.
Got a career in that, right?
Yeah. He might just have to do voiceover. Welcome to the No Snooze Podcast.
Absolutely. So how's the week, man? Listen, I see the body. You're looking lean and tight. I will say this to all of us. I think we spent way too much time on the fitness talk last week. I think it was like 48 minutes of an update. So we'll keep it brief this week.
Yeah, 52 minutes this week.
So, Mike, how's your body? Nice and tight, thanks. CV? No.
Yeah. Listen, I don't need to talk much. If you're hopping on YouTube, see it. If you like what you see, like, subscribe, because you're going to see more of it. Because it's only going to get better from here. I really think I figured it out this time. I'll just give you one little tidbit of what my adjustment's been.
Okay.
Right? Minor adjustment. Each week, I'll give you a little taste of the adjustment. This week, the treadmill came back out. The no running walk king is back.
The walk king.
And I'm just incorporating some steady state cardio, starting at 30 minutes a day. Gonna do it the first thing when I wake up. The only other minor adjustment is I've been overdoing with the caffeine, and I've felt my anxiousness kind of raising. Monday I had kind of a meltdown as far as like when I got home. I just had this overwhelming anxiousness, and it was because I didn't handle my caffeine well throughout the day. And it's just something that I'm like, all right, well, I hit the breaking point. I got to recalibrate. So other than that, diet's on point, weight's on point. We weigh in Friday. Looking forward to sharing some good news.
Okay.
Not as good as you two, gentlemen, because, three, most famous over here is looking tight as well. It's funny. We're all like, if we were on a DJ booth, we're trying to calibrate like all of our weights. Hopefully we meet somewhere in the middle.
Okay. I have to say one thing. If you are on YouTube, I don't know if you can see, but Michael has one finger that matches his shirt. It is black, and I don't know why. Can you explain why your finger is black?
Brief story.
Can you show the camera, please?
Yeah, so this isn't bad. I'll send you
What do you mean it's not bad?
Because it was
purple,
like
dude.
fall off black.
Wait.
Like,
we can't see it. It's blending with your shirt.
All right, hold on. Is it really?
Dude, that looks terrible. And honestly, it kind of looks like Dana got mad at you because it's on your wedding band.
Yeah.
Finger, and
karma.
she's like, give me the ring. And Michael's like, no, keep the ring on.
I did something
and
wrong.
And she snapped it.
Oh my God.
Is that what happened?
So this was right after I did it. Not a great photo.
It's pretty bad, though.
So basically, new listing came on Thursday. Go check it out. Nice multi in Greenwich, Coscob area. I'm calling it the East Coscob area. Anyway, when we bring listings on a Thursday, usually the weekend's packed. Saturday, I had showings from like 10 until 1 p.m. back to back to back to back, which is the way I like to do it. You get in the flow, get the reps going. So I get there a little early to prep everything, right? I like to do a walkthrough, mentally figure out how I'm going to show the property. And I'm like, you know what? Let me open the garage so that I can kind of refresh what's in there. So if someone asks me, I'm prepared. So it's a manual one, right? So I open it up. You know the old school ones that have clearly been there for like 100 years?
Yes.
And you're like, these were built well. There's no alert if something's under it. There's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just like, if you know how to use a garage, this is your garage. So I open it up, and it's got 2 joints. So if you know a garage people, shout out Casera.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How about that callback?
Yo.
How about that transition?
That's pretty good.
It wasn't one of their garages because it would never happen.
Whitaker Doors.
Whitaker Doors, my guy. I'm going to have to do another one, by the way. So we pull it. I pull it all the way up, right? Go to push it down. As I'm pushing it down, the first appointment arrives. So I'm doing one of these. Push it down. Finger gets caught in the first joint. Closes completely. I go,
You're like, hi.
because the people are there. So I'm like, I can't make a scene. So I'm like, and so you have one arm to try to get it off of your finger, because I'd use 2 arms to get it off originally. So, freak athlete. About 6 seconds later, I finally get it up. I pull it out. I look. I'm not exaggerating. It was like a cartoon. My finger was flat as a credit card. The only thing that kept it together, and when I say my finger, my ring finger,
This part.
the front joint. So it didn't
dingle
get the
part.
joint, the dingle bar.
Yeah,
exactly.
Look, the part that
Science.
dingles. That part.
It was so flat. It was like if Bugs Bunny got ran over by Wile E. Coyote. And I literally went like this to get it back to form.
Wow.
Swear to God. 2 seconds later, from joint up, completely black, throbbing.
Oof.
So I'm like, I guess I'm just going to show today and see what happens.
Adversity? Bring it.
The whole time that the people weren't looking, when I was showing all day, I was doing this.
Finger pumps all
I was
day.
trying to get blood into
flow.
it. Then
It still looks bad, man.
in between appointments, I was doing this. Right, I was raising it. Dana, I got home, and Dana's like, "Is your finger gonna fall off?" And I was like, "I don't think it can fall off if you don't get. There's no bones in that part, is there?
No, your finger could fall off, bro. Like,
There's a bone in there. Well, Matt and Phil texted me like, "Is it broken?" And I was like, "Dude, there's no bones in that part." And Matt just sent a meme of a skeleton going like this. So something in there is definitely broken, but it's not. It doesn't matter, right? Because it's just the tip.
I guess. Doesn't look too good.
So word of advice. Don't open garage doors if you're not paying attention. And if you do get one caught in it, be a freak athlete so you lift it up quick.
Wow.
Can you take your ring off?
Yeah,
you tried?
because that's a small part.
You may want to, I don't know, keep it
No,
off.
it's
in
gotten
case
like infinitely better.
Yeah.
Oh.
Infinitely better.
God bless
I'm telling
you
you,
and your finger.
this looks bad. This isn't even close as bad as it was. It was 2 different shades. It looked like I look like a zebra.
Pretty shady, Mike.
See,
pretty
I
shady.
wish we did
Michael
it right
the
after.
Finger Pirelli.
That nail is gonna go.
No, the nail's good.
Oh,
I got
wow.
strong. I take a lot of collagen peptide for my my hair. I'm trying to fight
Great
the
hair, good nails.
I'm trying to fight the recession, both in my hair
Recession.
and in the world.
Okay.
So my nails are, knock on wood, very strong because it's a nail hair thing.
Yep.
You know,
Very good.
collagen. You don't have to worry about that. Like all of you have phenomenal hair.
Nah,
thinning a
I'm
little
getting
bit.
the U. You know, the Regina U is coming.
I've said it. That's what technology's for. My boy, I'm
Going
gonna
hair
look.
plugs.
I'm gonna be plugged up.
Listen, if there's a hair plug sponsor out there, your boys over at No Snooze are willing to try.
I'll do a
this
show
out.
about it.
No, man, you look good. Besides that finger of yours, CV, Claudio the Voice Valenzuela. We waited way too long last episode,
Yes.
so let's include you on the Pod Bod update, my brother.
Very excited.
Hello. So,
Hello.
quick one.
Yeah.
So I did weigh myself on the Friday after the
Oh yes,
we
I was
shot,
looking forward to this.
and 4 pounds.
Ooh.
Wow, you say casually.
Well, I think it was 2 weeks, so I guess figured 2 pounds per week.
That's good.
That's usual math.
Yeah.
Unless you did 4 in 1 week,
It's the usual
Well, it
man.
could have been the Mike Pirelli way. I could have.
0 and 4, or like he
Mike
gained
is like,
2,
I
he
lose
lost
that in
6.
4
I gained
hours.
4 and then I lost 4.
Guys, I'm turning a leaf. All right, don't talk about that.
Mike
stuff.
could literally lose 4 pounds in 4 hours if he wanted to.
But
Not
yeah,
safely.
4 pounds. So I'm assuming it's
That's awesome.
2 per week. Keep doing the thing. Keep working out every day. By the way, I wanted to make a note. Did anyone see Mike Pirelli's treadmill when he posted it?
What about it?
You haven't seen it?
Yeah, I saw it, but what's
it's
wrong
about it's about this
with it?
size.
It's kind of small, right?
I don't know how you stay on that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
almost thought you had 2 of them, one for each foot. I'm not sure.
One for each foot.
It's funny, right? You That's something I'm actually thinking about.
How do you not fall off of that thing?
It's tight. It's very tight. The nice thing is it's for a desk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, my foot, so there's a little part that the track comes out of. My foot goes over it. So, like, sometimes I tap it when I walk by, and it shuts off because it's very
You know when you're measuring, like, a floor, and you put your one foot in front of the other to measure?
Yes, that's how I walk.
That's how you do it. Yeah.
It's like a catwalk.
That's hilarious.
I do. I mean, I love it. I forget
you
what
run
brand
on
it
that
is. No. It'll immediately shut
dare you.
off.
I dare
yeah.
you. Come
So
on.
it doesn't.
It'll shut off.
The next phase 6 is going to be getting another treadmill. So what's the best treadmill? I'd love to hear in the comments. Like, subscribe.
Pelletread.
If you want to see more of these sexy bodies, like, subscribe. The next thing is to get some more equipment for the gym. I'm definitely going to get a sled and get some turf for the driveway.
Michael.
Dude, you're going to love coming to Jim
a
Miguel.
sled? Like-
Both of you.
Yeah,
like a sled to
weighted
push.
sled. No, not a sled to go down the hill, bro. A weighted sled, like the football players, man, like the performance athletes. He's a freak athlete. Look at his finger.
Freak athlete. So that Mind Pump podcast I listen to, basically, I'm worried about getting hurt. I'm like an old man. I'm like, I got to stay healthy because health is wealth. If I get hurt, it's going to derail me, right? So, and my thought was like, all right, squats are great and I'm doing them, but is there other leg exercises that equate to doing like a squat but are safer? And I've been researching the sled is one of the safest things to do because it's not a very high technical move. You know,
it's more of a push.
Correct. It's a push, but it hits all the same muscles.
Very nice.
You like that?
Yeah, man.
Not to bring scary, but that doesn't scare you sometimes with the like your Achilles heels and things like that.
I think, freak athlete. I don't.
Yeah, he's
if
good.
one of those
That is
pop,
true.
then it's
That finger is proof.
yeah. Listen, I don't want to jinx myself. I have no broken bones in this body, none.
Well, I would
So
hope
actually,
not.
never mind. Broken nose, probably broken finger.
So besides
there's
that,
no bone there. Don't
besides that, we're
But
good.
anyway, enough of my treadmill. I'm looking to upgrade. I might take that. I talked to my boss yesterday and told him about our weight loss challenge. So I told him if there's some weird noises coming on happening in the other office, it's probably the weights and the bands. And so I'm prepping him to sneak the treadmill into my office.
You should just. I was gonna say you should secretly build a gym in the office.
What do you think I'm doing?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have 15-pound weights that are my trigger sessions, we'll call
Trigger
them,
sesh, yeah.
which is Mind Pump. And then I have my bands, and I'm all set in there.
And your arms look good. I'll tell you that. Look good.
Other parts of the body, what I think you'll see, not to take over CV's part, which I think you'll see in him as well, is we're probably going to get the 6-pack before even the arms develop, because just the fat is dripping off.
Yeah.
Fat burning machines.
It's like when you hold a sausage when it's on the grill and all the fat just drips off.
Yeah, air fry everything. Air fry everything. Weights and
right.
steaks.
No, CV, man.
Back to CV. 4
that's
pounds.
good though. 4
Keep talking
pounds.
to me.
So are you? Have you reached 30 total?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow.
Right?
Dude, these are data.
Dude, when I see
That's
him, though,
amazing.
So I saw him the other day, and I saw him from the side, and I'm getting a little nervous here. Like my man is going to look better than me, man.
Well, it's a foregone conclusion. The only competition you have anymore is probably Justin.
Update.
Talk to me.
It's actual 34.8 pounds since the beginning.
What do you use
Wow.
to track?
That's pretty
Tell
big.
the people because I think people are curious.
The Fitbit,
I love it.
to
Yeah,
walk.
whatever
So I got
works,
the weight, the scale that match. I don't forget what it's called, but the
Yes, I know the
Do
scale.
you remember the one we
syncs
got?
up.
Yes,
Said we
we
were
had it, yeah.
44%
it's called an
body fat or something?
Aria and Aria 2.
Yeah.
And every time you weigh yourself or whatever,
connects,
it
right?
connects. It tells it.
Sick.
So
Oof.
even though I'm not using my Fitbit to walk anymore, I still use that because it kind of tracks it and everything. So
Are you tracking steps?
Yeah. So on my watch. Yeah.
Nice. I love that.
another
So you double watch it up?
No.
You wear the
So,
Rolly
so
and
here's the thing.
I used to do that in basketball. I'd wear it.
Wear Rolex and
wristband to cover it.
I used to.
Mike would have a Rolex on during basketball practice.
like nothing. Light work.
Light work.
So no, I used to wear the Fitbit all the time, and honestly, I didn't like it because it was ugly. Number one, and number two, seriously, it is.
I kinda,
and I didn't want a double watch either. And then also it was kind of thick, so it always get caught in my shirt, and it was just I didn't like it. So I was like, I need to find a different alternative so that it can look nice and still kind of track what I wanted. So I ended up finding this watch
What
that
is
I
it?
have
Let me see.
on. It's a Fossil watch.
Yeah, it looks
and
nice.
it's like kind of like there's different types and more techie ones, and this is a very less
Basic.
techie one. And so it has like a black and white screen. And so it looks normal because it's very analog. It has the same functions as a regular watch, but on the inside of the face, it has like the little technology part. So it counts steps. It tells you, like what your heart rate is at. It tells you if it's going to rain outside or snow or little things like that. And it's very basic, but it's all I need. All I want is to kind of keep track of my steps.
Yeah, keep
so
it simple.
This
That's pretty
morning,
cool.
so far, I have 4,832
Wow.
steps.
Wow,
And that's
so
about
very good.
2
That's pretty
miles of my morning walk that I do.
Yeah, I don't get nearly.
What are you targeting?
steps.
Well, you can tell by your body. What are you targeting? Daily steps. Do you have a target
no,
for that? Or
I don't. I don't.
Or is it a
So,
time? Like
no,
amount?
I want to do 2 miles every day.
Okay.
And sometimes the intensity of the workouts that I do are less than 2 miles.
Yeah.
But I am like, when I tell you beat.
I mean, if you do 2 miles a day, that's like
that's good.
that's amazing.
But it depends though, because in the very, very beginning, I was only doing 2 miles, and it was always flat, and it was always the same amount of time.
Yep.
My goal then was to do like a 15-minute mile walking, which I think is a pretty decent speed.
Yeah, that is.
But this is flat.
Michael can't do that.
And
I think I
this is-
can walk a mile faster than I can run a mile.
I agree. Me too. But what I started doing with the treadmill, I started doing a whole bunch of hills. So sometimes I'd only do like 1.5 miles or a mile 0.3 or whatever. But when I tell you I'm 10 times more exhausted than if I did a flat 2 miles. And I think that was what I was kind of explaining last time, how it's the intensity is greater because I do these hills and all these different things on the treadmill. So honestly, I'm not looking for a specific thing. I normally average about 8,000 to 9,000 steps per day. 10 would be ideal, but sometimes I just can't. And so as long as I know that I'm getting that morning kind of burn in
Push,
there and it feels good, then I'm kind of good. And anything extra is just a bonus.
Are you doing that fasted? Like, did you eat before?
Coffee.
Okay, yeah, so
Yeah.
fasted. Nice.
Fasted, yeah.
Sick.
That's awesome, man. You look great.
I heard a great
Cinque.
I heard a great.
I heard a
like my
great
daughter.
quote.
I heard a great quote.
A great quote.
Simple scales, fancy fails.
Simple scales, fancy fails. Beautiful.
It's a good one, right?
Yeah, that is. I feel like for me, I always made things a little bit more complicated.
Well, that's
And now
literally the opposite of what I believe in. Right? Like I get so fancy, home gym, this and that, and then I just end up walking. You know?
yeah. No, good point. You want to hear about me? I mean,
Awesome. No, anyway, Justin, what do you got going on? Wow, look at him grab the mic.
Oh, he's getting the mic.
Let's go.
Go ahead, kid.
So,
By the
guys,
way, the
if you're-
only person that has a legitimate 2% body fat.
He's got a
in the room.
bulk.
Yeah,
yes,
that's true.
So Justin is on the lower range. He's got a bulk. My man, I'm not gassing you. You look pretty good. I'm not gassing you. Not as good as CV, myself, or you're getting there. I would love to see what people think he looks like too with his voice.
Yeah, right.
You know,
I don't track,
Ruben Stutter.
I don't track anything, but I like the look. You know what I'm saying? I like to see the change.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. After Monday, I'm starting to feel like Dave with my chest right now.
Wow.
Chest workout.
Yo,
Dude, stop
I'm
it.
still in pain.
I called him in my office.
Hold on, I'm gonna take a video as he's talking.
I called him in my
no,
office.
go ahead,
Yeah,
keep
give me
talking,
a
keep
flex.
talking.
Give him a
I'm
flex.
gonna. Don't you don't need to. Please
Just
flex.
give him a flex right now.
I literally
Oh, I
called
thought you
him.
were taking a picture. I was like, don't look at that. Look at the definition.
You should hit the camera with that.
Give me a try. Give me a try. Give me the try
You should
move.
hit the camera. Woo! With the coffee stain on the tri-step.
on the
tri-step.
There's kids are gonna, kids.
What is that, a
put that
birthmark?
on his arm?
Oh, that's cute.
They were trying to copy. They were putting like,
There,
what's
yeah,
her
yeah.
name?
get on the mic because this is gonna
No,
go
man.
on while you're talking.
Nah, yeah. So
You gotta eat.
yo, I eat a lot. But
You don't
my
eat a lot. Are you
metabolism's
tracking
fast.
it? Are you
No.
tracking it? See, then
That's what I'm
how do you
saying.
know
I
you eat
don't
a
track
lot?
Because yo, I eat.
You don't
bro.
track.
And
If you don't track, you don't attack.
It's also.
I'm just rhyming.
Can you
today.
tell the audience where you shop for your clothing? We want to know if it's Baby Gap or like we want to know where.
It's not, baby. You know what I'm saying? You know, Carter's down the street.
Carter's. Carter's.
I know. Honestly, though, what do you?
Oshkosh Bagosh.
What are you eating? Are you trying to you're
Oh
trying to
my
add
God.
muscle, right?
Yeah.
So
For
what
real.
are we eating? Dave's gonna school you right now.
No, Dave's not going to school you.
Why you get frustrated with
What?
him? You get frustrated?
No, it's the same. He has the same problem that
He
we all
doesn't
have.
listen.
But he doesn't
Wait,
listen.
the same problem
No,
we all have. I don't
it's
have that
it's
problem.
the consistency
Yeah.
piece,
Okay.
right?
But
Like
you
he'll
don't
work
track
out.
anything. How the hell you know what's going on?
Right, but he's not at that phase yet. He's
He's
just
got to
getting
get there though if he
He's-
wants to get tight.
I eat when
You
my
wanna be
mom
famous?
cooks.
You want to be famous?
Yeah.
There's a level of a body you got to have to get famous.
That's
I'm
right.
on that
You see
level, bro.
Biebs? Biebs put on a little muscle,
That's
Nah,
right.
he definitely did.
a little bodied up, bodied up, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm fired up.
All right, good. Thank you.
yeah. Dope.
That's my guy. That's the sleeper right there.
Yeah, man. So it's the month of March. It's crazy. Chapter 3 of 12.
Wait, are you sure?
Right?
Oh, this is going
Chapter
to your body.
3 of 12. Yeah, 61 days to the day that we're recording by the time it
Oh,
comes
that's
out
what
on
that
Monday.
means? I didn't know what that meant.
What
Yeah,
phase?
it's the-
What phases is it, David?
What phase?
Phase 10.
Is it phase 32?
This is just phase 1, baby.
Oh, okay.
Phase 1.
How long does phase one
He's not a
last?
phase guy.
Phase 1. Yeah, I'm not a phase guy, but the current plan that I'm on is 12 weeks.
12 phases.
12 weeks here. So I'm 61 for 61, but today sucked. I literally I was debating, while I was up at 1:30, like, all right, today might be my off day because I'm not really going for anything specific with the streak.
You're gonna let everyone down, basically. That's what you're telling me.
No, but Karina and I have like a little thing going. She was like, babe, I think I'm gonna take off. I'm like, yeah, most people need a day off. Like, I think it's, very condescending.
Yeah.
So she's like, I mean, she's probably like 55 for 61, which is incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty
but I'm
low.
like, it's just not 61 for 61, but so we go back and forth, we battle. So now it's like a thing in the house.
Yeah.
But I just said to myself, honestly, like, what's the worst case scenario right now? Like, yeah, I'm not as energetic as I guess I would be on a full 6 to 8 hours sleep. Probably had like 3.5, maybe 4.
Solid.
Right? Solid. But I got gritty in my head and I was like, listen, I want to work out today. I want to get it in. Yes, the cards are stacked against me, but I'll do what I can. Ended up pushing myself to the point that I had one of my best workouts yet, which was crazy. But I do it on the app, so I record everything. Working with Coach Ambrosio. Right?
A lot of people have been asking, by the way.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I didn't want to miss a day there. So it's been good. I don't have a weigh-in to give you guys, but I have photos for myself. And at the end of this journey, week 1 to week 12, I'm going to show it and see, really where the progress is. But the goal is to get down all the way to 8% body fat and kind of see how I feel at 8%.
Are you seeing any physical changes?
Honestly, from week 1, this is I'm finishing up week 2. So,
really?
No, but it's weird because I definitely don't see anything. I think people are seeing the compound of 61 days straight. And like Mike said before, you can see, I don't know, what are you seeing? He said, my face looks a little leaner.
No, I just think your body looks a little tighter.
My body looks a little tighter. My brother said that to me the other day.
You look a little
fluffy.
Not fluffy. So like like people like us who bodybuild,
Yeah.
Some days you just feel fuller.
Yeah.
And today you look more like your skin's tight versus full muscle.
Loose. So
Does that
usually
make
I
sense?
look loose.
No,
today.
I
it's
think
not
it's
loose.
because his shirt's a little tighter too.
Yeah, maybe shirt's tight.
I got
he
this
throws
at
me
Oshkosh
off
too.
And the beard, he throws me off.
Yeah. So honestly, no, I don't see a difference yet. But I definitely feel good.
Yeah.
The warm up has been huge. I've been doing a band warm up every single day.
That's my workout.
Which is great though. Like the flexibility in my scap. Like my scapula in the back, my
I know
shoulders.
what that is. Don't worry.
The shoulder rotation feels good. So yeah, it's fun, it's exciting, and we'll keep you updated, I guess, next week.
Are there any new? Sorry, just ask the follow-up questions. Are there any new exercises that he's incorporating that you're enjoying more now that you are like exploring them a little more?
The way in which I do the workouts is what changed the most. I still haven't seen a workout that I haven't done before.
Yeah, because I'm sure you've done like every exercise known to man.
Oh, I don't want to sound like
a lot,
idiot,
but
most of them,
yes,
right?
Like you worked out your whole life.
Exactly. He did have one that was called the gun run for biceps, which was pretty cool. You basically hold the dumbbells in a bicep squeezing position and pretty much just run throughout the gym. No, you walk.
Oh,
but you walk.
Oh, even better.
But you're doing it while you're squeezing. So that was something that I was like, well,
kind of like a farmer's carry, but just
in a bicep hold. So that was a cool exercise.
I guess the stabilization.
Yeah, but I'm definitely seeing
Justin's like
my my order. It's big to switch the order of your workouts because I would go in the gym, I'd do chest. Now he has me like on a push day doing chest, then shoulders, then chest, then you know what I mean? So like I get fatigued a little quicker, but the feedback on the app, seeing exactly where the exercise history was from the week prior, I just try to do a little bit more on one exercise.
Yeah,
so it's like a bulletproof thing if you're willing to push yourself.
Yeah.
But I wonder where I'm going to get to the point that obviously I can't go up 5 pounds from the week before. You know what I mean?
No, we're just gonna push right through.
Yeah, just keep going
on our way to 8%. It's gonna be you're just gonna blow through these ceilings that you think you can hit.
That's right.
I have a question.
Yep.
Your coach Ambrosio, does he give you also cardio workouts, or is that just incorporated in the way you're kind of jumping around from exercises?
He felt that what I do is sufficient.
So you add that separately.
Yeah,
what have you been doing cardio wise?
I do 2 cycling classes a week. So he feels that I mean, I'm literally burning 1,000 calories per. And everything we're doing is a calorie count pretty much. So that paired with, he wants me to get to 10,000 steps per day. And I
join
can't.
the club, dude. It's the best.
I would need to
steps.
stand up at work and just
literally
walk around.
I have a rule now.
Yeah.
When I'm on the phone, I just pace.
I'm at an office phone with a string attached
Get an
to it. So
get
I
a
can't.
friggin' whatever it's called. You're the boss. You can request anything. Get an AirPod connected.
Yeah. So that's the only thing that I haven't been able to accomplish. But he was like, listen, as we get closer to the goal, that's when he starts to tweak things. But this week was cool because now I'm basically working up off of 75% of my 1 rep maxes. Whereas, when I first started, I was at like 55%. But the reps are coming down, then they're going to go back up. So it's a nice switch, great structure. But that's that. We ready to rock on this one?
I love it.
Or you got more on that?
We're good.
I'm trying to think of other questions because I'm so curious.
I know. I want to give you.
There's always 1,000
What was
questions.
the question I was going to ask?
We don't want to go
Remember
an
I said
hour
before?
on fitness.
I forget. Did he give you a picture of what you're going to look like at 8%?
Yeah, he said, "Look at myself."
Yeah, right.
Well, but
he said basically, look at me.
Yeah.
He showed me Mike Pirelli.
Yeah.
He said, "Look at Mike, not that. Look at me."
No.
There you
Some
go.
people get motivated by
have no
what
idea,
they
man.
looked like to not go backwards, but some also get motivated by what they could look like.
Yeah,
Someone's got to figure out an app.
I have an
we can
original.
like.
I don't know, man. This has been my whole life. I have this little and I don't want to sound silly by saying this, but I really mean it. I do have like extra belly fat. It could be just from being Italian. So like my 8%.
Hey, don't put that on our heritage,
David,
dude.
What?
do you want to see belly fat?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I don't
Just
mean
show 'em.
I know what you're
conscious
saying.
way.
You got down to 10%,
And I
you still had a little.
Yeah, I still like the top 4 looked really good, and then like down below was still like a little like meatball.
And
for
example, I got to like 14, and I had a pretty clear 6-pack for a little bit.
Yes.
So everyone's different where
Right.
they hold it. Like I hold a lot of mine in my face and my like thighs. Like those two, obviously the belly too, but the belly comes off a little early.
Yes, for me, it's definitely not like that, like genetically wise.
Yeah.
And again, no excuse, but I don't really
it's not
know.
an excuse.
I don't know what I'm gonna look.
See,
like.
I think when you get down to 8, you're gonna get the abs because
we'll see.
I'm telling you, because at some point there's nowhere for
They're
the fat to
thick,
go.
too.
The fat does this.
Right, I just
there's nowhere to
my
go.
My abs are pretty thick when they come out.
Yeah, which is fine. But to see him, I'm excited for you because I don't want to be by myself at 10 with abs.
With abs.
If there's no other ab friends, then you look like the idiot.
I'm just the abless 8%.
Like if we're at the beach and I'm the only guy with abs, it's gonna be so awkward.
That's embarrassing. Yeah. Look at
He's
Satchel
got abs
Sanchez.
already,
He's got
right?
abs, right?
No.
When you're 2%,
Yep.
when you're 2%, of course your abs come out. No
Okay,
matter
that's
what.
all.
So
That's
true.
the only question I have.
All right.
So do we want to
I
put
don't know.
pictures up as we do our journey, where we do our thing and then we throw a picture up? Because as much as I don't want to share too much, I'd be willing to do that.
You'd be willing to do that?
Yeah.
I want to. I don't like the concept of doing the pictures as you go because there's nothing to compare it to. I like the
All right.
I like
the beginning and the end.
Yeah, I love
It's
seeing
more contrast.
Right, I love seeing the beginning and then the end to actually see where it is.
Yeah.
Where the biggest changes happen. Because if you post a picture, it's good. I think you might be able to see it, but I don't know if anybody else can. Make the context.
I like it.
there.
All right, fair.
So today, before we go there, man, today of our recording is March 2nd. Just got to shout out my grandma Lee. It's her birthday.
Oh,
Her
happy
first
birthday,
one
GL.
in heaven. So may she rest in peace. Very sad moment, though, man. Speaking of grandmas, the other day, like I updated everybody, my grandma Ro, she is still in the hospital. She was diagnosed with lung cancer, had the mass on her brain. The brain mass came back as cancerous as well. Both stage 4, declining pretty quickly, which is very sad to see. All we're praying for is that she doesn't suffer along this way. But got to see her the other day, and she was in great spirits. Obviously, a little teared up. Definitely remembers everybody and still witty in the hospital. But, she basically took my hand. She was rubbing me. And she's like, all I pray for is that my family is safe. And she was just so willing. She was even speaking, and she's like, he could take me. He could take me. I've lived a great life, which is sad to hear. But I can also see that she's in a little bit of pain, and all she kept praying on is she has this little angel that my Aunt Celeste got her. Right. So she's rubbing the angel and she's like, God, just take care of my family. God, just take care of my family. So it's just another perspective moment to where, listen, whatever's going on could be worse. Imagine sitting in that bed knowing that you're going to die. Could be 2 months. It could be 2 years. At some point, you're you're toast.
Yeah.
Which is,
Stories like that
it's
snap you back.
Dude, it really does. And I got an opportunity to get Karina and Callie on the FaceTime, and Callie kept saying, "Grandma, grandma, grandma," and that just made her whole day. So it was very nice to see her, but rest in peace to Grandma Lee upstairs, and then Grandma Rowe. We know you're fighting.
Hey, Grandma Lee, help me out with this weight loss thing.
That's right. Bless my boy Michael over here.
Yeah.
I'll
dedicate my abs to you.
I love the little perspective piece like you're talking about, just because it brings everything back to center for you. Because again, we say this a lot on the podcast, but you get so caught up in the day-to-day nonsense.
I'm so guilty of it lately.
Oh, of course. That's all I do.
But it snaps right back, because like I've had conversations, I don't want to put them out publicly, but have been like really grounding, because you realize like everyone's going through something. Yep. Someone's got some level of fight that they're going through, whether it's cancer, just health, anything. So it's like I've been trying to be really good at getting everyone the benefit of the doubt, even when they're driving me nuts, because you don't know what's going on. So it's just like, you feel very fortunate certain days, and it's bad to say, but sometimes I feel like guilty. Right. Like, why do I have, certain health advantages over other people, and you're like, it creates that fire again, that you don't want to waste the gift. Yes, sir. That's a good way to put it. The gift. Maybe that's my new nickname. Yeah, Michael the Gift Pirelli. Once you get those abs, maybe we'll name you there.
We wanted to take a quick second to let you guys know that we partnered with our good friends over at Orgain.com. We're happy to offer our listeners 30% off by entering the code NoSnooze30. Again, that's NoSnooze30 for 30% off your first order. If you're on the market for a new protein powder, nutritional shake, protein bar, or Mike's favorite, collagen peptides, Orgain is your one-stop shop. As all of you know, my Crohn's disease is currently in remission, and the only protein I use is from Orgain. My personal favorites are the chocolate peanut butter and the vanilla bean. With the code, you can try a 2-pound tub for under $20. Talk about not snoozing. Go get yours today. Now, back to the epi.
So when we come up with the concept for the conversations, it's pretty much, Mike CV and I trying to get together and kind of see what's going on in our personal lives. And something that I've been focused on at work is creating a positive work culture, right? And now that I'm in this role, I've been in this role for a while, I've definitely seen that there's a need at our workplace, in our environment, for a positive culture. Sounds really good. What does it mean? How do you kind of create one? And I think it's something that you see individuals in leadership roles all the time, but it's like, how did you really get there? Like, are you qualified to be that leader? Did something happen? Because for me, I got placed there, and I think a lot of people get placed in leadership roles because they do one discipline really well, right? And that discipline wasn't leadership for me. Specifically, I was able to build a rec department that brought in revenue in ways that the town has never seen before. And the amount of revenue that came in was pretty much groundbreaking revenue for that department. That one discipline is what got me an opportunity to then sit in a leadership role. But that doesn't mean that automatically because I can bring money in, I'm a good leader, right? And I feel like most companies, it's kind of similar with that. You get promotions, people get these great positions with great titles, but are they really at that level of leadership to be creating a positive work culture? So I just wanted to share a couple things as I've been creating the environment. And it doesn't happen overnight, but it's definitely a work in progress and something that you got to continue every day. Right. So what are your thoughts? Just, kind of what I just spit at you.
No, I like it. I think the biggest thing I think about is it's kind of, I have a team in certain business aspects. Like, we're a team here. My real estate stuff's a team. Tell Mike sent you's a team. There's a bunch of little teams. But I always think back to the company culture of my family. Like, I read a book, A Promise of a Pencil, Adam Braun.
Oh, yeah, Adam.
His book.
Yeah.
And he talked about how his dad used to say all the time, we're not like the typical family, we're Brauns.
Who was my coach?
Yeah. So
my high school basketball
Did he
coach.
tell you that? Were you a Braun by adoption?
Yeah.
Me too. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't know him. Yeah. But it really stuck with me because I'm very repetitive in our household, where I kind of impose my thoughts and my energy onto the family. And at times, I'm sure, Dana, I'm sorry, I'm probably exhausting, you know, to have it all the time. And there are days, don't get me wrong, where I'm off, but a lot of times I try to reiterate certain beliefs I have, which is like, you know, it's great to complain, but you're not helping anyone. So like, do something or don't complain, like, which is very black or white. But you know, you just keep saying that, or and I'm guilty of it too. So I like when Dana pushes back and feeds me my own BS. You know, when I say stuff and then she's like, "Oh, well, you say this," you know, it keeps you accountable. Or like, you know, just being good people. So like when there's an opportunity to donate or get behind a cause, you know, having conversations with Dana, which she's great at too, you know, of being committed to helping and, you know, not waiting till you're at a certain level to give back, just do it along the way, or, you know, enjoying the journey, enjoying the process together, you know, teamwork. There's all these like things that everyone talks about and then I always think about, but I think about how to impose that because we do have kids and, you know, I have another on the way and I've never been in a position of a mentor in any form. So I'm not nervous, but figuring out a system where like, I don't have anything to look back to. I've always been the mentee with everyone, even today. So I'm just thinking when you say creating company culture, I'm thinking like my family, creating that culture where when you're in our household, you get the same vibe every time. It's consistent, you know, feel like you're at home, good people, a safe zone, supportive, kind of all the things everyone aspires to. But I would love to hear how you do it in a company setting, because I know I need this in my companies as well, because it's something that if you're going to grow, no matter if it's I'm not necessarily looking to add other real estate agents to my team, but I'm going to need people that are specialists in certain areas. And no matter what you do, if it's a partner above, I mean, even with us, you got to keep that company culture to grow. And then you think like, what do I want the company culture? Do I want a Steve Jobs atmosphere? I'm yelling at everyone. Right. Like that's not me. I don't want to scream at everyone. You know, with my kids, yes, you can be stern, but I'm not the type that wants to scream all the time. You know, so that's, as you can tell, my brain goes a million ways, and I'm like, let's see how Dave organizes it, and then let's see how I can contribute to the conversation.
No, great talking points there. I love the family tie-in. The very first thing though because all the thoughts that you just had, I think everybody even listening to this is very, what you just said is very relatable. But now that I've been doing this for a short period of time, I've been able to sit down and kind of develop a little process. Dave, the big process, or the big science, as you will, right?
Big science.
And the very go ahead, CV.
The big anomaly too.
The big anomaly. That's right.
We got one day. We got to put all the names.
Yes,
and have people vote.
And just to give context, to my background, if you're just tuning in, I am in local government, like the conversation we were having before. I have a specific leadership team of 25, and then under that we have, depending on the season, up to 300 employees.
That gives me such anxiety just hearing that. Like, to hear there's 25 and then 300 below gives me I don't know why.
Yep. And that's just in one department, right?
Yeah,
because then if you put me on that, management scale where we do have our department head meetings, now you're talking thousands. But this, this core team is really who I'm working with. And there's 25 who really range in age. I believe I am the youngest out of the 25. And the oldest is up to 77. So it's a wide range.
How much are you the youngest by? Do you know?
No, a couple years.
Okay,
a couple years because we have a couple 30. People.
What would you say the average is?
The average has got to be 48 to 52. I'd say somewhere in there.
Significant gap.
Oh yeah, for sure. But all great people, all different departments, everything from a transportation unit to maintenance to arts, dance, and culture, youth development, recreation, senior services, and aquatics, right? In that scope of the 25 that we're talking about. You're shaking your head.
No, I like it. When you say aquatics, I just think of all the classes and everything.
Oh yeah, and then obviously
that's what I would want to be involved in.
And then obviously the business office, right? Mm-hmm. Which that's where all the numbers come through, and that's primarily who I work with day to day. But the most important thing for these individuals and on my end is employee wellness. right? Making sure that your employees are well respected, and then also taking time to really know them. So that's kind of why I set up those one-on-ones. If you heard me speak about those before, it's 30-minute conversations on the dot. I try to be. Try not to miss those, because when you start missing things, then that is kind of the culture that you're creating, right? I try to be punctual with my meetings. I try to be on time. But through those meetings, it's really about the employee wellness, right? Making sure that they feel that the leadership team cares about them, respects them, values what they do, and not just saying it, right? Like that, you just saying things is different. But like I could show you a text message this morning.
Yeah, tell me how you do that, because like everyone's different.
Yep. So on the wellness piece, honestly, I needed to break down. Well, first you have to break the core and get to know the individual. Then on wellness, though, they're
let's
emotional.
break it down. So do you say, how do you like to be rewarded? Is it
right? So the first conversation, this kind of started as like, tell me about yourself. You know, you're in that role.
So
I'm in this role.
vague.
Very, very vague. Then over time, you're able to create the relationship to where now with each individual, I know about their emotional well-being. I know the people in their families, by name. Mm-hmm. I don't sit across from them in these one-on-ones and just talk down to them like I'm their supervisor. There's a piece of that obviously I'm giving them some coaching points and things to work on. But for the most part, I know even when their doctor's appointments are, they come to me now, and obviously I'm big into health and wellness on a big scale. So I'm always willing to help in any way possible. We have a lot of individuals that are either overweight, have chronic health conditions. It was a broad range, right? Everything from diabetes, congestive heart failure, substance abuse, cancer. I've seen it all now, but it's them now being able to open up and feel that in reciprocation of them being open and honest with me, now I have to respect them, right? And that respect piece is huge, because you can't treat everybody the same. You just can't. You have to be understanding to individuals' needs. But employee wellness for me is by far the most important.
Do you guys have any like challenges and things you do with like weight loss and stuff?
So we're actually working on. I know a guy who brought to the table. Basically employee wellness to where 1 hour per week, like built into your workday. So this is, again, yes, you should be working out more than 1 hour per week, but we're basically saying that we're going to pay you to do some form of physical activity.
Sick.
Right? It could be a walking club with somebody else. It could be the sport of pickleball.
That's a great idea.
It could be, you jumping in the pool. Basically, whenever you want, you have 1 hour throughout your week that you can say, listen, I'm going to go take action and do something.
I have this visual of like a ticker on the wall and everyone in the steps, and there's just people in the office just doing circles.
Yeah. but honestly, on a very simple scale, right?
It makes it fun too.
If your employees, think about it. If your employees are not happy, they're not going to perform.
Or not healthy, because then you miss days.
Correct. And happiness, a lot of times, is directly related to health, and not only physical health, mental health, emotional health. Everybody's got something going on in their families. Again, wide range of individuals, big families, small families. Some have no families, right?
Yep.
So you have to be accommodating, and understanding each individual is the most important.
So I'll chime in here real brief.
Go ahead.
I don't want to jump. I don't know what your process is.
No,
I don't know if
that's
this fits in a certain part. I agree with you. I think when I sit down with people, what I've tried to do is just like get to know people as people, and just like see where they're at and make sure they're okay. And if we have a crazy week, just make sure they're doing all right, versus just like push an agenda, which has been very helpful. And I think it just comes from a place that I'm not very corporate. Mm-hmm. So that's how I kind of process everything, is get to know people first, and then you kind of speak to them after that. So it's interesting you said that, because that's kind of a natural, because I'm not corporate. So it's not very, it's a natural progression just to get to know people. Mm-hmm. And then go with the flow. But I'm finding everyone's so different.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Everyone you deal with is so.
And now it's, how do you find a way to manage all of them, right? And that's the hard part. So again, it comes back to creating this environment and this culture to where there's a clear expectation of what's going on.
So I have the luxury of keeping my company small. And when I say company, I mean everything, right? Mm-hmm. Businesses, service providers. My thought is that if I don't like managing a huge group. Mm-hmm. It's much easier for me to be successful with a smaller group. That's my thought in the short term.
Yep, could be. I think everybody likes to because we also have our breakout teams, right?
Yeah.
Like, from that.
But I'm just
from
saying
that
because
big,
I have the choice to,
Yes.
where you guys you have a structure and
Exactly.
it's a different application.
Correct.
For me, the only difference, well, not difference, but my strategy has been to keep everything super small and only add people when you really need it.
Yep. No, it's a good tactic to have. The second thing is pretty much understanding where the actual culture was and then taking the history of this organization, right? And I think for our age group specifically, 30s, 40s, if you're in a leadership role, the first thing you want to do is you want to highlight, because this was even me, you want to highlight all the negative things that are going on. And we quickly forget that, listen, this department was operating for 40 years before I stepped in that building. Yeah. So there obviously had to be some sort of culture and some sort of history that's, a big reason as to why we're at where we are today. So instead of me coming in and trying to make every employee do a complete 180 and this is the way you got to do things, I do think there's a time and a place to do that as well. But I found through my experiences that the more you can tie in their knowledge and their history, I have employees that have been in this facility for 30 years. They obviously know how things operated. They know any idea that I can come up with, they've already seen. And that's one thing I'm also very open and honest with. Say, listen, I'm in this role now. Just because I'm in this role and I shoot out an idea, it's not my idea. I either, got it from somewhere else. Yes, of course, I believe myself to be a creative and an innovative dude. But at the end of the day, if you've been there 30 years, most likely you've seen that. And I've seen a lot of people step into roles as leaders, right? Even on my own team. And we make the mistake of forgetting about all of the prior history and knowledge that these individuals have. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. How it links with me is I try to figure out what motivates the team and then have them scratch their creative itch. So we don't have like a building or anything, but people have been doing their specialty before I've gotten involved with them. So I try to say, like, what kind of projects do you want to see? And then depending on what they say, see how it works into the master plan, and then let them scratch the itch. And, maybe it's not the most efficient, but it keeps them happy. It keeps them feeling like there's autonomy, which there should be.
Yep.
Because ultimately, like, there's only so much you can do in a day. And if you get everyone on board in the same, pushing towards the same goal, and they're doing what they love, it's going to come out better.
Right.
That's a thought.
Yeah, definitely. And you said the word goal. Ironic. That's the next thing that's on there. Because creating goals is essential.
I feel like
right?
he's taking a lot of photos of me. I don't mean to break up. It's just straight
Justin
on me.
Is
do you want me to take my shirt off? Go ahead. It's goals.
Creating goals, man, especially in our industry or any government entity. You got people who are, working for the pension. They're on a fixed salary. It's not as easy to motivate with money. Right? Like, I can't just throw $10,000 at you because, you're Mike Pirelli and you're just a phenomenal worker.
Just throw 10? I would love to throw 10 at people.
No, I'm saying not.
I know,
but you know what I mean? Like, I can't just say, hey,
they
listen.
They might be watching this.
You've done, of course. But anything I'm saying, they know as well. And that's another thing. Yes, of course, there's a time and a place for me to speak a certain way. Yeah. But for the most part, I've tried to step into a Dave Regina that can be pretty transparent with everything.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place. Obviously, you got to get a little gully. You like that word, Justin? Justin's like, eh.
Yeah, I don't know if I even know what that means. Fern gully? I know Fern
gully.
A
little gangster on certain things, and is that not gully? No, that is gully. Yeah, for sure. That's a little older. Justin's on. I was being facetious. Oh, you see how I went from gully to facetious?
I've never heard gully and facetious
exactly.
in the same sense.
But no, so the goal piece, right?
The big vocabulary.
the big vocab. My point is it's extremely hard when it's not physical money to motivate somebody. So the way that you do it is obviously through data and feedback. You have to sit down. I've been able to sit down again through these one-on-ones and create specific goals for individuals, whether it's a program that they're working on or a project that they're working on, or it's a community partnership that they're trying to develop. I need something from you that's going to motivate you, like you were saying before, to inspire you to do your job. Now, with that, when they give me these goals and we plan them out together, now I give you feedback, and the feedback is black and white. Right? If we're looking at a certain number of participation for a program, okay, I'm able to actually print out this financial report and see that we accomplished the goal. I'm able to see that we didn't accomplish the goal. Okay, we didn't accomplish the goal. How can I help you get to the goal? Do we need to do more marketing? Do we need to be better in local partnerships in the community and schools to drive more individuals to these programs? When it's a project, right? I put timelines on projects. I'm very specific with that stuff. And again, you have to work on a scale here, because you have somebody who can be extremely motivated, that loves the stringent guidelines of goals, and then you have others that get very defensive and they don't want that specific structure. So I'm okay with that, right? You tell me what you need, but at the end of the day, this is what I need to see, right? The outcome. But it's allowing the flexibility of the goals. But if you don't have goals in place for specific people, at the end of the day, what are they working for? Right. And that was something that even in I've been able to tie that from my own life, because when I'm just going through the motions, you know how it is. There's certain months that I feel like, I think I shared it during the summertime. It's just going. I'm like just going through the motions. And it's just like there was no inspiration there. There's no drive. And that happens sometimes. But how quickly can you come back to center? I think you can always come back to center much quicker when there's a specific goal in place.
The goal example, one of the team members, I'm not going to say the name, but she wants to move out of her parents' house. So I keep throwing hashtags back at her when we're doing projects and say, hashtag move out 2022. Just to remind, if you want to do this, we got to do some shit.
Right.
And then another one was a financial goal. What I try to do is I talk about my goal for the year. And then if I hit my goal, what happens to you and you financially? Or whatever professionally, and then explaining that the way we get to my goal is if you're doing your job well, and as a team, if we're all crushing it, we all make more type of thing. Someone, I don't know who said it, but basically show me their incentives and I'll show you their output. I'm a strong believer in it because I'm trying to create culture that people are afraid to miss out on. So like, yes, I'm already seeing people are trying to pluck my team members. And I kind of tell them, I'm like, listen, you can go work for them, but we're just getting started. So, you make a choice, no hard feelings. I wish you the best. But if you go somewhere else, the train's still moving. So it's like, you can be on it or you can get, left behind. And it kind of creates that, which I talk a lot of stuff, but I do honestly believe everything's going to come to fruition. So when I talk to them about it, it's very real. They're like, Mike's crazy. It's going to happen. So like, I need to yes, I'm trying to make it so that everyone along the way is enjoying it and doing well. But I know the reality. You might get a competitor. They might say, listen, whatever Mike's paying, I'll pay you double. And you need to create such a excitement and fulfillment in what you're doing that people don't want to leave you because they're like, it doesn't make sense. Right. Even for double the money, I wouldn't leave him because we've created a culture. I have such autonomy. I'm doing what I love, and I don't think I can recreate it somewhere else because people can recreate like paying, but you can't recreate company culture. You can't recreate the goals, the vision, all the other stuff, the intangibles.
And the experience. Funny you say that because that ties into the next thing, and this is again.
I literally haven't seen.
But I was just gonna say, for people, they might think, oh yeah, they got this scripted out. Like, yeah, I got notes on my phone because the big process has to look back at his process.
Don't get gully on him. You get gully when you do this.
Don't get gully on him. But the next thing that ties right into that is employee recognition. Right? We work in an environment. I've been a part of an environment to where people aren't really recognized for things, and it's kind of again hard to do because you can't really say, great job, we met our revenue goal, here's a piece of the revenue that we exceeded. It'd be great to do that, but we can't. So now what we've had to do is create this environment to where we have employee recognition. It's on a very small scale, but once a month we have a supervisors meeting, and I specifically call out one individual that has done an exceptional job for that month with specifics attached to it.
Do they get to like push you in the pool or something fun?
Right. So then now it's funny, and for those that are listening, hopefully they don't share before the news comes out. But
sorry.
Before it started as just recognition, right? So if John Jones does extremely well this month, it's, I want to highlight John Jones because of his impact in the community. He's been able to take a program that didn't exist before, and now we got, we're serving 58 residents, blah, blah, blah. So you're specific about it, which was great. But now what we're working towards is providing some sort of tangible for this, right? And
Cool.
I went back and forth with something small like a $25 gift card to Starbucks, $25 gift card to Dunkin' Donuts. Again, cool. Shot some ideas back and forth, and basically what we're coming up with is an additional paid half day off.
That's nice.
Which is,
I think I'd rather push you in a pool fully clothed.
that sounds good. But for somebody, in our industry, if you were to equate that to dollars,
nice.
If you're making $80,000 on a year, your half day is a couple $100.
You know what you're doing too? You're creating an experience.
Right.
Like, because that half day, they're going to be like, I'm going to go do something or enjoy my family. So then they equate it to something positive.
Yeah. Again, through some studies, there was this, it's called work human IQ research. And I was doing some research. I like stats, right? So it said employees recognized up to 4 times per year show a 32% increase in performance. Just off of recognition. And again, I believe that recognition does have to be a little more specific. But take me, for example, right? When I get recognized, I do want to perform better. So 32% increase in performance. And this is a study that was done on Google, huge companies. The other thing that was really cool is 40% of American workers say that regular check-ins are the number one thing that makes them feel happy at the office, which related to me in my industry and that was through Ernst & Young survey. EY, baby. One of the big 4, right?
Yep. Does your brother work for them?
My brother's a CPA, so.
But he works for them?
No, he doesn't work for them.
Oh. Never mind. We don't support
He's
EY.
Citron Cooperman. But, the point with that is, okay, my industry is I can't give you financial freedom off of you doing a great job. I see a survey through Ernst & Young who has the ability to pay thousands and thousands of dollars on bonuses for them to say that 40% of their American workers are saying that the number one thing is regular check-ins from their supervisor. Okay, now I have some feedback, and that's why we do what we do. But it's something that I want to continue to grow. I want to get that recognition to a place to where there's even more to work for, right? Like this is starting as a stepping stone. Again, this culture thing is being built. Like they've been there for 30 years. They've been there a lot longer than me. But now that I'm sitting in this chair as a deputy commissioner, this is what my plan is to bring to the future. I want to bring specific awards to maybe an end of year celebration to where we basically allow them to pick the awards. I want to hear in the staff meetings, what awards do you guys want to see? Is it the best personality on the year?
Best body?
The best body on the
Do you
year
have
could
to be
be
a
one
part
of
of
them.
the company to be in the drawing?
Do you have no, you can enter the body one.
It's just like, and the nominees, and it's all you guys, and then just me. Like I snuck it in.
Right. And again, even if it's a little plaque or something, it's still something that, you hang it in your office, you're proud of it.
Bragging rights.
It's bragging rights, but I think that creates a little bit of a culture. Whereas if I sat back and looked at things that were missing in the culture, it's these little things, and it's until I sat down and really thought about a process like, all right, there's probably a way to create this. And not that my process is right. I'm not saying that by any means. I'm just saying what I'm doing in my specific field.
Yeah. It's overwhelming to establish a process. I don't know if you've had stuff I'm sure you've had some stuff to recreate, work off of, like a foundation. It's been very overwhelming for me to have nothing. Just be like, all right, well, I guess you're hired, and I guess what we're going to do is this. And
I would almost disagree with you, though, because I didn't really have, you can ask CV, there was nothing in place of a structure that I can look back to, because at the end of the day, you're Mike Pirelli, you're paid $100,000 because you're the grants coordinator for the town. Yeah. It just is what it is.
Gotcha.
The second thing that I'm working on too, and again, this is based off of what I've seen from my role sitting back now, right? And also, remember, I'm unique in this situation because I used to be on that ground level as an employee, not on the management executive level, right? Yeah. So I know what it takes day to day, but now I also know what it takes day to day in my office.
You both perspectives.
Right? And one thing that was always missed was the transparency in operations from upstairs. For whatever reason, we were hiding budget numbers. We were hiding, I don't want to say hiding in a negative way, but we weren't disclosing this with the staff that's on the ground. So they wouldn't understand the behind the scenes of, what goes into an actual process in the business office, in that operation. So what I try to bring to the table is seeing that ground level, seeing that executive management. If I'm trying to build culture, I need to blend the two together. right? And that was something for me. I was like, bingo, opportunity for Dave Regina as the deputy commissioner now to provide them with that, right? Like CV operates a summer camp, right? That budget in itself is close to $500,000 for one operation. Why he isn't aware or wasn't aware to the extent that he is now, not because of me, because we've been able to get there together, because he's shared things with me, I've shared things back with him and his team, to where now, but again, you're creating something that now they're like, shit, you're giving me $380,000 just for the staff?
Yeah.
Like, I need to manage that.
Yeah,
so,
transparency.
Right. The transparency was huge. And for whatever reason, it was like, okay, tell me what you need. I'll let you know if I could do that. And then I might have to scale you back, but give you no reason why I'm scaling you back.
Yeah.
You know? So little things like that.
For me, it's not even like the reasoning. It's if, I guess because commission-based, like, I want to know how you got my commission. Like, I'm working independently. If I don't sell this house, I don't get my money. So when you pay me my check, I want to know how you calculated it, because I don't want it, like, I'm not working here just for fun.
Right.
Back to the incentive thing.
Yep.
So I've ran into issues with previous, working with companies, and we've come to a agreement, but them not being transparent with it, and me getting frustrated, be like, then what am I working for? If I'm you just figure out a number and throw it at me. It's like, that's ridiculous. I need to know exactly how I got my money, because then why would I be incentivized to work hard if you're just making shit out of thin air?
Yep.
So I agree with that. And that's how I've been try to be with, like, when I work with people on like, if they're getting a piece of something I do, I show them exactly what I did and then how I calculate theirs. And then I have a running list. So there's no questions. It is what it is. We agreed upon this. This is the number. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it. In
Which
both
doesn't always
industries
work, because like with contractors and stuff, it's never exact. It's always like, well.
Yep, and then clarity. Clarity is the final thing that I think brings it all together. Being extremely clear with your delivery, being extremely clear with your expectations, and extremely clear to everybody of what the goal and the mission is of the organization. It's funny, we have a mission statement for the community. We don't have a mission statement for the day-to-day team. So something else that I'm going to work on is the day-to-day mission statement. I come to work, okay, yes, I already know what the expectation is from the community, because that's what we're about. We're about providing services. But there should be something in place for me as the employee. Come to work and I have a mission statement, right? Something that we create all together that we can circle back to. Then in a moment of adversity, it's like, well, what's the mission statement? Are we in alignment right now? And we come back to center quick. I've tried to be very clear about, really what drives our department, because we don't have a department without people coming to seek our services. So in every single meeting, what I do is I stress the importance of customer service. Which is big for us.
When people get out like unaligned, how do you try to get them back onto the straight and narrow?
My approach, honestly, is allowing them to walk through the process. So literally having them explain to me what the issue is, and then stopping them where I would have done something a little bit differently, and then meeting them in the middle to try to figure out the way. If there's a conflict of, like, give me a situation, man.
So say someone's like feeling down, right? And they're like, I don't feel like you appreciate the work I'm doing, this type of thing. And you got to get them to understand that it wasn't it wasn't malicious. It was just things got busy. We didn't stay connected. Whatever. There's a scenario where it was uncontrollable, but they took it personal. Right. How do you?
Great scenario.
Because I'm sure that probably happened.
Of course, absolutely, all day, all day, all day, every day. But again, it has to come back to knowing the individual and their needs for the most part, right? If I know that somebody requires a little bit more than somebody else, I need to look at myself. The biggest thing for me in my seat is, okay, if you're now frustrated, what could I have done differently to control that environment, to control that situation? And 99% of the time, there's many things that I could have done to avoid you feeling that way. Not saying that what you're saying is completely accurate and on point all the time, but there's plenty of things that I could have been doing to check on you along the way.
So like someone will say, after we complete the project and it was done, we didn't kind of have a debrief or some shit like that.
Yep, that happens too. And honestly, I mean, I need to eat that, but now we need to have that debrief. No, I need to
eat that.
I'm serious. I need to eat that. Like, that's my responsibility. We didn't do that, but now I want to show you that we have to have this debrief.
It's just future action.
It's action. That's all it is. But the respect thing is the biggest thing, right? I never want somebody to feel disrespected by the way that I treated them.
Yeah.
And again, it's a fine line in leadership, because there are times where you have to sit somebody down and say, this is going to be this way because this is one of those times. But I try to be clear about that, because I'm like, listen, this is not, it's not always like that. We try to make it, as leaders in the world, in whatever industry you're in, we try to make it like, oh, I'm the leader, I'm the boss, I'm this. A boss and a leader are two completely different things, right? A boss tells somebody how to do things, and then a leader shows people how to do things. I always want to be somebody that shows people how to do things with their input, right? Anything that I've said today is not just based off of my, personal pen and pad. Like, it's through my experiences, through hearing people and receiving feedback. A lot of leaders, I'll say too, well, I'll say bosses, because the bosses is the word that's not the best. I'd rather a leader, but bosses tend to think that their way is the best way all the time, right? And that creates a negative culture, because there's no motivation behind it if my feedback doesn't matter to you.
Yeah.
So it's that's a work in progress every day, though, and it's situation to situation. But it's something I really enjoy. I think you have to, if you want to step into that role, anybody, you have to be interested in it. And then leadership is like a skill, right? The moment you stop it and you're not working on it, then it dies.
It's like a momentum thing. Like, the company culture thing is temperamental.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I don't have like big of a company culture going, but like if people are what's the word? Like, it's not a disease, but if two people get together and like, this is the issue,
it becomes a cancer.
Then it kind of travels, and then it's like, oh, this is the end. And sometimes, so I guess what you're saying is, if you can get people to come to you first before it gets to that point, that's how you kind of nip it at the bud and address it. But again, it happens anyway.
Again, month to month, I know I'm meeting with you. So you can only get mad. The maximum amount of time that you can stay mad is a month.
It's a good.
You know what I'm saying? Seriously, like, the maximum amount of time that you can possibly, if you try to avoid me, which really can't even happen because we have a supervisors meeting somewhere in between there.
You just get in the hallways and block people and be like,
but again, I'm blocking them with an approach.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have to, you could be mad at me today, but unless it happens on day one, right after our meeting, you got 30 days.
So it's communication. We're back at communication, consistency, blah, blah, blah. My thought process, I love you. My thought process is so different.
Right.
And like, I come from another angle. We're very similar in certain aspects, but like, you're very defined, structural with your verbs. I'm very fluid. I got phases, dude. I got phases.
Mike's like that thing at the gas station.
Yes, I'm fluid.
Yes.
And maybe tomorrow I'll be like, wow, CV was right.
I would challenge you.
Yeah.
And and not that you have to verbalize it or even say it, but I would challenge you to put yourself in, for example, his shoes.
Yeah, it's hard.
Because you hear a lot of the examples that he puts out and a lot of the different things.
Yep.
And try to work through those with your thought process.
Yep.
And if you have questions, you're going to ask, would this work with this one, to see what is your thought process? Would it work in this scenario?
Yeah,
I do think that every scenario is very different, and I think the way he thinks complements the way the industry that he's in.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe yours would too. Honestly, I am speaking on my own personal thought as we were talking before. But at the end of the day, would your approach work here? I personally don't know, because I haven't seen it.
I don't think so.
I don't know, and that's why I say that's my challenge. Put his scenario into your thought process and work it out to see if. And granted, I don't know if you have that time to do that, but for food for interest, you could see if. Maybe it would or wouldn't.
See, I think yours would translate well to my world because I think you need but I think structure is probably the thing that I don't lack it. I just think if I can get better at being organized and structurally sound, it would complement the creativity and the vision stuff, and I'd be able to scale faster. It's hard because that's the reason I am so creative, is that I do have kind of fluidity. And because I'm like, oh, we're not doing the same episode next week, I'm able to make adjustments. And so I don't want to lose it, but I recognize that there is a more, company style that probably would help. It's just finding the balance. But it's tricky because when you guys talk, I 100% not 100%. I understand where you're coming from. I'm just not in it day to day.
Right.
So when you guys say like, oh well, there's no real incentive, in my head, I'm like, everything we do has incentives. Like I'm very.
We have delayed gratification in our field.
Yeah,
Because
super delayed. Like,
super
even
delayed.
more than
Because I mean, you have a full
years in delay,
but
sometimes.
not really.
That's kind of
because-
good though.
But also, you
No?
think about this, right? We have full. God forbid, I get cancer tomorrow, right? And I got 500,000. No, I'm serious. But this is a reality because this is something that most employees hopefully never have to experience, and I hope I never have to myself. But if I had $500,000 worth of bills for that cancer, if you're in our industry, you have zero, right? So that is one obviously thing that is not really tangible until it happens. But like obviously medical benefits when you have a family, you already know.
Yeah.
It's an extreme cost. So yeah, that's great. But then the whole pension, right? You're working towards something in the future.
Yeah.
What I try to tell people is the mindset. If you come in at a low level job, I got hired. I shared it at $49,000. Right? Took a pay cut back then from even where I was at. I knew that in the future, by the time I retire, right, all of the time that I've spent, my pension is not based off of that $49,000. So I have to be thinking like I'm in the $200,000 role, right? Because I know when I retire, that's where my pension is coming from. And too often we lose sight of, there's not too many opportunities in the field. You also have to go make some opportunities in this field. But there's a lot of, people that are not willing to take that leap because, like that union situation, right? If there's a budget cut from the state to the town and now you're not represented in the union, I could be fired. But I'm willing to take that risk because I believe that I have a skill set that, I can land corporate if I wanted to land corporate, but certain individuals, when you've been making $80,000, $90,000 for 25 years of your life, are you willing and do you have that experience to then try to move over to corporate? So it's tough, but I good conversation.
So I like short and simple. So if you could encompass all of everything we said today into your philosophy on company culture, what would it be? That's actually pretty good.
Communication, respect, allowing individuals within your culture to give you feedback to provide them.
I need more boiled
results.
I need more boiled. So communication and respect. That's probably the two big.
Those are by far the two biggest because it comes down to people at the end of the day, right? If you don't respect me as an individual, and the way that I build this is obviously through my own life. When I walk around, I think people know how I live my life. I'm not just out at the bar until 5:30 in the morning and then coming to work and I'm the deputy commissioner.
Yeah.
It's through action. I follow up on things. I reach out for help. I never claim to know it all. There's a lot of things. It's not a simple process. If leadership was simple, I think everybody would be a leader.
Yeah. That was well said. It's a little different vein, but Greenwich Boys and Girls Club, huge fan of them. They have a shirt that people wear, like old school shirt, and it just says "Be Great." It's something that I've enjoyed, so I've started saying it to everyone with hashtags. I like sending back stuff to people and just hashtagging things because it's very like brief, but you encompass it. So one of the people I work with sent me like a post, and then I just hashtagged "being good," ... like you've been doing with the mediocre thing. And it's starting to stick because now I get a lot of mirror stuff, right? Like I talk a lot of stuff, and then when I'm slacking, people write like hashtag "being good," and then I'm like, "Be great." Good. You're right, be great. So that's been my company culture I'm trying to create is being great, and obviously there's so many things that go into that, but that's I want people to feel like you're on the Yankees when you're with, you're on the team. There's no reason to go to the Mets. No offense to the Mets Oilers fans.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. But again, like you said,
a long way to go.
You said at the beginning of the episode, or this might have been off air, about simplicity, right? So people might be looking for this, crazy answer, and look how simple the answer is. You build it around your core values.
Yeah.
Whether it's a team of 2 or a team of 202.
So do you host events? What is your? Imagine I start yelling again.
So this will bring us to my favorite section, Dave's Dime of the Week.
Dimes.
You're gonna like this one, Michael.
I like all your dimes.
All right.
Maybe not all of them.
We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. That is by my boy, Ari Stotle. Aristotle, the great Greek philosopher. But it is, I mean, that is a tremendous quote.
I'm a cheat meal then, basically.
I mean, you repeat the actions that you repeatedly put in, and if you do it greatly, or if you do it in an excellent fashion, excellence becomes the habit, right? And I think that ties back to community culture. Repeating the things that we just spoke about on the entire episode will get you to a place of your excellence, because I think everybody's excellence is completely different, you know. But me in my personal life, I try to transition the way that I operate my life and the success that the things that have worked, I try to implement that stuff into my professional world. And hopefully it helps certain people. You know,
my last note is that my butt hurts because I have less meat back there because I'm getting down to 10.
That's right.
And well said. Nice to wrap it up with a bow.
On the
can you implement a bow
on the way to 8 and 10% here, right?
Yeah, you're 10, I'm 8, right?
Listen, CV's down 34 pounds.
Yeah, what if he gets to like 5%?
Yeah,
and we're like talking all this stuff.
I gotta step my game up.
Like sneaking in 5.
Justin Satchel, the most famous intern Sanchez, is on his way as well.
That's such a good nickname, the most famous intern.
I will be going to Vegas very shortly, so I believe next episode I'll be recording, and then I'm jumping on a plane to Vegas.
Straight to Vegas, baby.
Talk
about company culture, amazing. Oregon. You're sending everyone.
That's right. Everybody going to Vegas. Hopefully, Oregon doesn't get washed in the Pac-12 tournament.
I'll be rooting for Oregon.
Listen, root for me, my brother, because I'm rooting for you.
Frank Kepnang.
Until next time, stop snoozing.
Get up and get after it. Be great. That's another Effie in the books. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at No Snooze Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze. Come on.